Hey guys, it's Animelover and I'm back with another video. So in this video, it's going to be another dream story time. Yay! So I actually, surprisingly, remembered another dream of mine, which is really rare recently. Legit, all of them. It's so hard to remember my dreams. If you have any ways to remember any of your dreams, please leave it down in the comments down below, because I really need to find ways to remember my dreams, because I want to keep telling you guys stories about them. It's like really fun. I like telling stories a lot. Anyway, let me get to the dream. Okay, so this dream is very interesting, to say the least. I'm gonna have to tell it in a weird pattern type part kind of thing, because it's not all in one. You know, like, it's not told like it's so hard to explain. It's not told like a story. Like, it is told like a story, but then again, it skips around to different places and different people. So I have to tell it in a very weird manner, and all of this has to be done from the top of my head, because I can't write it down. I wrote down some of it, but then I remembered, oh, this is gonna actually be harder than I thought. So I can't do that, unfortunately. Anyways, so in this dream, this society has people who you're either normal, quote unquote, or you are someone who is called a keeper. And a keeper is someone who has a guardian, and a guardian are these specific beings that become part of you after doing a ceremony, and they're supposed to make you either a better person, help you fulfill your goals, or whatever around those aspects from what the dream explained. And all guardians come from this specific like dimension kind of thing. And the person will get a vision of who they want, and they will then pretty much attempt to draw them. And then when they're doing the ceremony, they pretty much will end up having to do a bonding ceremony with that guardian. And I'll explain more about that in a little bit. So pretty much there is there's this college, and they pretty much have to, the college, there's like about maybe 20 kids, I think. They're not really kids, but there's like 20 students, and they pretty much have to, of course, before even doing this, you have to learn about the guardians, and then of course you have to learn all these specific steps before even getting to the ceremony. It's this huge process before even doing anything. And so pretty much they finally got to do the ceremony. They all had their drawings of the person that they wanted or that they saw in their vision. And so then there's like different flowers or different scents that are lit during these specific ceremonies, depending how many people are there. Example, majority of people who do it with big groups light a lilac scented anything, and it pretty much, of course, makes everyone fall asleep. Or if you're doing it with one person, you can light a daisy or something. So it's something around those aspects. It always depends on how many people are going to be doing the ceremony. So the scent that is in the background is very important. And enough of that. So pretty much the scent makes everyone fall asleep but for one person. And I'll get to that in a little bit. So there's this boy, and he is, of course, asleep, and he kind of has like brown hair, and he's kind of like a really shy kind of person, and he's kind of scrawny, but he's not that scrawny. And he has like no confidence in himself. And so what happens is there is the bonding part of this, where you will get a guardian, and you actually have to bond with your guardian. And if you do not bond with the guardian, then the guardian will not accept you. And because they're not going to stay with someone that they do not accept. And so what happened was, because what guardians can do sometimes, well, actually all the time, they can appear next to the person who is supposed to be their keeper. And they'll be kind of like transparent in a way, but it'll be their actual form. And the one that the boy had gotten was this white wolf kind of looking guy with red and blue markings on his face, a yellow nose, and I think dark green eyes. I think that's what he looked like. And he is pretty much looking at his keeper and is saying how he doesn't even want to try to do the bonding ceremony thingy with him because it's just like it's not his cup of tea with this person, because he's judging the keeper before he even does it. And he kind of like looks around, and then he sees a girl who is wide awake, and it is hilarious because she's just staring at him. And he is like, how long have you been there? And she's like, the whole time. And she's then like asking, are you his keeper and not keeper, are you his guardian? And he's like, unfortunately, yes. And he's like saying how he doesn't really want to bond with him or even get to know him. And she's like asking why. And a big thing to note in this is a guardian actually is part of them. So each guardian is like something deep down inside the person that they can't express. And this is what this guy is. He is pretty much the confidence and the handsomeness or whatever that the boy can't express for himself. And another thing to note is that the boy has a crush on this specific girl. And the guardian knows that the boy has a crush on her. And it's like really funny because he knows this already, and it's like really funny in that aspect. I thought it was funny, at least. The girl is then like kind of like getting really close to the guardian and everything, and saying how like you shouldn't judge him before you even get to know him, and you should at least try to get along with him because he worked really hard to get to this point, and that the guardian should at least try to like get to know him. And of course the guardian sighs at this, and he's like, fine, I will try to get along with him, but it's not my fault if it doesn't work out. And she's like, I have high hopes that it will work out. And he's just like, positivity. Like, he thinks it's cute, but he's like, positivity. And so then he pretty much fades away to attempt to do the bonding thing with the boy. Then with the girl, she ends up getting her guardian. And the weird thing is about this is normally guardians can only come out when you are pretty much asleep during the ceremony, so you can bond with them. There are those rare occasions where a guardian will come out when you are awake during the ceremony. And it's like one of those rare things, and she ended up getting a guardian while she was awake, of course. And her guardian is this really tall, non-binary, goat-looking creature. And they are really cool, like, really cool. So how to describe them is very interesting. They pretty much are like 9 feet tall. They have hooves and everything because they're a goat, obviously. They have horns that kind of look like space buns. They have purple and pink skin, a fluffy tail, and they kind of also look kind of emo-ish. They have these silver bands on their neck, wrist, and ankles, and they're really buff. So that was another thing. That's pretty much how to describe them. Then they pretty much sit down and they pretty much talk with their keeper and get to know her and everything. And of course the girl is so happy to meet their guardian, and they're just asking them a million questions, and it's amazing because their guardian is just like chill, and I don't know what their power is, because each person gets a power with their guardian, because it's always different for everyone. But I don't know any of the powers for like any of them except for 2 of them. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Then it literally cuts off to another person. Like literally after that, it cuts off to everyone waking up, and it's a different scene with a girl who's like this kind of like chubby girl who is technically a nerd, and she has like these really round glasses, and she ended up getting a Gorgon one, and there are different tiers for the guardians. I don't have the tiers on the top of my head yet, but I do know there are multiple ones. I believe there are tropical, wolves, goats, gorgons, and like other things pretty much. And that's like what from the top of my head that I can remember. I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on one of those. Not sure yet in my dream and everything. But anyway, she ended up getting a Gorgon, and the Gorgon has long green, like dark green snakes for hair, very light green skin, and she's like this beautiful, stunning woman with like these stiletto nails. The stiletto nails popped out to me in the dream, and I had to mention those. But she's like this confident lady who doesn't take shit from anyone, and you're probably like, how did this girl get this one? Well, the girl, of course, wants to be confident in herself. She wants to feel pretty, and that's what her guardian is there for, to help her with that. And this is actually one of them that I know the power to, and I believe the power is if it bites some. So pretty much what can happen is the guardian and the keeper can merge, and they gain appearances sort of like the guardian. So example of how that would be, this girl, if she got her Gorgon to combine with her, she would get the snake hair, and she would get the like kind of pale green skin, and pretty much that's it. Well, and the stiletto nails, definitely the stiletto nails. And that's pretty much what would, they would be fused together, and she'd pretty much keep every other feature of herself. But pretty much if her snakes of her hair bites anyone, it will make them tell the truth. Another thing is if she ends up biting herself with the snake, she can gain a quick bit of knowledge to a certain situation, which is actually important to certain things, actually later on. But not in the dream. I was thinking more on the story. That's what I mean by later on. But anyways, then there is another character, because then it cuts to a few hours after the ceremony, and a lot of people are saying that there's this girl who's in their group, like not group, but class, and she is using her powers to pretty much bite people and make them spin around. And I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that is the girl has a guardian who is also a Gorgon, and her Gorgon's powers are dance, something around those aspects, like dancing. So if you get bit, you dance. But the girl is this rich person. She has like blonde hair, blue eyes, and everything. And she kind of reminds me of Chloe from Miraculous Ladybug. And she acts a lot like her, pretty much. And the guardian is not happy. And you're supposed to, like, not make your guardian upset because it can make their powers go a little haywire. Example, right now, the girl is fused, of course, or combined with her guardian right now. So she has the snakes and she has the pale skin of the guardian. And every time someone walks by, the snakes are hostile. And they bite at everyone. And so then... But anyways, let's get back to this. I'll keep getting back to it. I keep spacing off somewhere else. I apologize on that. But pretty much a lot of the people went to the girl, like the chubby girl, because she has a Gorgon and is like, can you please talk to her and everything? She keeps having her snakes bite everyone and they can't take it anymore. And so the girl ends up going to where the other girl is, and she pretty much goes and confronts her about it. And of course she ends up getting bit by the snakes, and she starts spinning and is still talking to the girl and saying how that you're making your guardian upset and that you need to not make her upset because it's not good for the guardian and it's not good for you. And of course, the girl is, like, not wanting to listen because she thinks it's dumb and everything and that she's always right. But in reality, she's not right. I also didn't describe what this Gorgon looked like. And the rich girl ended up getting a Gorgon with yellow snakes, pale yellow skin with pink freckles. And she is actually really sweet, like really, really, really sweet. And you're like, how the heck did she get her? But pretty much she got her because deep down in the girl's heart, she wants to be nice, but she's afraid to be nice. And that's why she has this guardian, if you were wondering. Okay, so we're gonna do another big jump in this dream because of course, this dream can't stay in one place. It's like, nope, we're going to take another jump in random places. So, now it is a month after the ceremony that all the students had. And now there is either some student teacher or assistant for the teacher. I don't know what job he is. All I know is that he's new to the class and he's there to help the teacher and everything. He does not have a guardian, but he actually will later on. He gets a ferret, and I don't know their power, really. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is their ferret is so nearsighted, and they need glasses, but they lose their glasses all the time. And it is adorable and everything, but that's the only thing I know about his guardian. He does end up getting one later on, though. But anyways, the teacher had asked him to check out the specific house or the specific neighborhood or whatever. I think it was a house. Yeah, to check out a specific house that looked really suspicious. Because every time someone walked near it who was at the school, there would be complaints saying how this house looks really creepy or how the house is suspicious looking. And so he went to go check it out and everything because they were getting a lot of reports about it and they want to make sure if it's a false alarm or not. So he checks it out with his motorcycle and he's like in front of the house just staring, trying to see if anything like suspicious is going on in there. And all he can see is no lights on in that house, and it is daytime. There are no lights, and all he can see is this glowing thing in someone's hand. And he is very concerned about that, and then someone turns to the window that he is staring at, and he freaks out and drives away on his motorcycle, also being chased by people. He ends up losing them around a Pacific corner. I don't know which corner, but he ends up losing them at some point, and he manages to get back to the school. As he's back to the school, he informs the teacher that it is not a false alarm, that those people are doing really weird stuff in there, and that he thinks that they are pretty much ripping out guardians from keepers, which is not a good thing, because if they rip out a guardian from a keeper, it could make the guardian either go crazy and lose their sense of good or evil, or it will resort to the guardian having to return back to their dimension and everything. But it will end up causing a lot of chaos and everything if a guardian is ripped apart from their keeper. So you're not supposed to do it. But these people are doing it. And he ends up telling the teacher that. And the teacher's like, okay, thank you for letting me know and everything. And so then they tell the students to avoid this house as much as possible, avoid this route, because it is very dangerous. A lot of the kids, of course, heed the advice, but even if they walk near the house, because some kids actually do live around that neighborhood, so they have to walk in that neighborhood to get to their house and everything. And of course, they love to be fused with their guardian, so they have the features of their guardian, which makes it easy for people to notice, hey, they're a keeper and everything. Because you can't tell if they're a keeper if they're not like fused together with their guardian, but you can if they're fused, of course. And a lot of them end up getting kind of like stalked to school by certain people from that house. And the one who gets stalked the most is the main character, who is the girl with the goat guardian. And she gets really concerned about this because she's being constantly followed by these people. And it pretty much, the dream ends with her getting to school with the group of people still behind her, and she manages to get inside, and she like hides, and she's like out of breath and terrified, and she doesn't know what to do. And that's literally where the dream ends. And I'm so making this a story because there are so many possibilities I can do with this, and I absolutely love it. If you want to hear more about this story or dream or whatever, tell me in the comments down below, because I would love to talk about more about it and get more ideas, of course, for it. So if you have any ideas, anything for this, please tell me, because I would love to hear it, to get more ideas for it and everything. So yeah, since I finished my little story time, I'm gonna do a little self-promotion because, well, I can. If you want to get early access or exclusive art, you can check out our Patreon. And if you want to get any like original designs or fan art designs or whatever, you can go check out our Redbubble, which is in the link down below. And if you enjoy this video and you want to see more, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!